My thought for the day. How do you lead and who do you follow? When I was a teenager, I had the meanest machine on the planet. I rode around on a scooter, a Vespa. It had a 6-foot whip aerial, no radio. It had 6 mirrors. Not so I could see what was behind me, no, so I could see my face looking good. I could cut you down by combing my hair. I was a face. I wasn't the ace face. I had a friend who thought he was the ace face. We walked around in mohair suits and little thin ties, button-down shirts, and we had winkle picker shoes with long points on the end, and a pork pie hat and a parka. Now, my friend, who thought he was the ace face, said to me one day, I want to go to this scooter rally. Thousands of scooter boys and mods are going to gather down in Skegness. You and me, let's go. So we had the bright idea, or he did, of leaving at midnight. We didn't know the way, and this is way before GPSs could direct us. All we knew was Skegness was north of us and along the coast. And so at midnight, we set out, hoping that we would get there. Well, naturally, we got lost. And we were going through this small little town called Soham. And it was probably 1:30 in the morning. And everything was closed. But there, sitting in the town centre on a wall, were these young men all in their leather jackets. And if there was one thing, above all things, that those in leather detested, it was mods. The scooters and those who were riding them. And my friend, who thought he was the ace face and leading me on the way, in his infinite wisdom, decided to give them the finger. Now, the two of us had always argued about whose scooter could go the fastest. I wish it had been mine. There I am, opening it up as fast as it would go, and I saw him disappearing ahead of me. And then, in my mirrors, I saw 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 6 lights, all of these lights coming after me. And the motorcycles, they roared up beside me, and then they overtook me, and they waited on the road, and they did wheelies at me, and I was dodging them, slamming on the brake and accelerating, slamming on the brake, thinking, what am I going to do? And I'd left Soham, and all there was farm fields, and I thought, I've got to find somewhere to be safe. And then I saw a farmhouse, and I thought, if I can get to that farmhouse, then maybe I will be safe. Well, when you're panicking, you don't always make the best decisions. And as I pulled into the driveway, I forgot completely that the gears were on the handlebars, and it was still in gear, and I let go of the clutch, and the whole scooter jumped, and I ended up in a sunken garden. There I was, hanging over the handlebars, and all of these motorbikes came to a stop. They climbed off their motorbikes, and one of them had a small little shotgun on his back, some kind of BB gun, but it was very intimidating, and he pointed it at me and he said, I haven't chased you all of the way up this road, not to take you and your scooter with it. Now, all I could think to do was to take off my crash helmet and throw it on the ground. And some people would have gone, no, keep your crash helmet on, because if they're going to hit you, that's protecting your head. I just looked at these guys and I said, go ahead, beat me up. I'm not going to put up any resistance. There's one of me and there was about 12 of them. And then the most amazing thing happened. They huddled and debated whether or not they were going to beat me up. I am so glad that they chose to get back onto their motorcycles going, nah, not worth it. And they drove off, leaving me to pull my scooter out of the sunken garden. The exhaust was hanging off. And when it started, it sounded more like one of their motorcycles. However, it still putt, 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 went slowly along. A few miles up the road, I found my friend, the ace face, hiding behind a bush. Well, it was a few weeks after that he asked me to go to a pub with him to a neighbouring town. And I felt, no, I don't think that's such a good idea. And I didn't want to follow him into this particular town because there was a reputation between our town and their town. Anyway, he went with some friends and they went into a pub and they were sitting there having a conversation when someone at the bar snarled at him, picked up a glass, broke it and rammed it right into his face. It took his ear clean off. Now, I say to people, does it have to come to that? I've often wondered, had they have both been sober that night, perhaps they would have had a discussion rather than an argument. Maybe it wouldn't have escalated into a fight. What it has left me understanding in my walk in life is, who am I prepared to follow? And how do I lead? What I say to people is don't be a lemming in life. I mean, you all know the lemmings. The leader rushes towards the cliff, and when he gets there, he jumps off. And you know what the other lemmings do? Yeah, they follow. Party! Splat. Life is precious. And right now in our world, new leaders are emerging, leaders of heart. And I invite each of us to think, who are we going to follow? And how are we going to lead so that we can take our light into the darkest shadows, so that we can find a way in helping support the evolution of the world? In great gratitude.